Rest in peace, Tay motherfucking Keith. Legendary. In just a short time. Very legendary. Let me take my goddamn hood off. Legendary. What it do, y'all? I'm your host with the motherfucking most, chill motherfucking Murry. You are now tuned to live from the spot. Shout out to everybody tuning in, not tuning in. You know how I do and how we rock. All right. Where to with this one? Oh, man. This one rocked the industry, y'all. First of all, let me say what's up to everybody. New Eyes, what's going on? Jermaine, what's going on? David Tarantino, what's going on? Mafia Princess. What had happened was, what's going on, y'all? Happy Thursday evening. This one shook the shit out the industry, I feel like. And I kept saying to myself, I'm like, okay, how big is this one going to be? Because I was like, death happens in threes. So did the big one come yet? And the more as the day started to grow, the energy grew for it happening. So I was like, okay, this was the big one.
Okay. Breaking news at 5 o'clock, Grammy-nominated music producer Tay Keith has died. Right now, Metro Police are investigating how he died.
They say the family called police for a welfare check at his apartment this afternoon. He's best known for co-producing for Travis Scott, Drake, Eminem. In December of 2018, he earned his bachelor's degree from MTSU. He was nominated for Best Rap Song for his work on Travis Scott's Sicko Mode at the 61st Annual Grammy Awards. Tay Keith was just 29 years old.
It just feels weird, those numbers. The more and more I think, well, I can't get off this damn thing. The more and more I think about, his breakout year being 2018, dies June 18th. '61st Grammy nominee. I started asking myself, I was like, yo, how much does Sicko Mode make? Because that would be his biggest record, right? You would think the breakout record, of course, Look Alive with Drake. But then he has Nonstop. He has a couple of other records, right? Not even a couple other records. He has a few other records, right? A couple hundred other records. But the biggest one, of course, would be Sicko Mode. So I asked myself, I was like, yo, how much did Sicko Mode actually make? So the song sold over 16 million units. 1.9 billion fucking streams. Again, we are talking about a producer that was independent. Okay? Independent. Now, just on Look Alive, right? Let me just play this right here real quick, right? Perfect example of things, right? This is eerie how this clip, it was at 6 minutes, but this has nothing to do with the gematria of. We're going to get into the gematria of him just very shortly.
But the situation was with me, like, I produced the song by myself, right?
Yeah.
So that motherfucker did, I had 50% of the pub on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And that motherfucker went.
Kids pay attention to how this shit works, for real. Everything he about to say, really pay attention to this.
The motherfucker went, debut, number 5 on the Hot 100?
Mm-hmm.
That's major.
Right.
So me having 50% of a song that debuted, 50% of the publisher of a song that debuted number 5 on the Hot 100, every publisher started calling.
Of course.
Everybody trying to sign me at this point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shout out to Big John.
Shout out Big John, man. Always.
Ryan Press.
Yep.
Rich when he was at Sony. You know what I'm saying? Zach when he was at BMG. You know what I'm saying? Jen, Mel Carter.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody was me. And it's
rightfully
good.
So, for real.
Even though I ended up signing with Warner, I still build my relationship with everybody, and when I got that bag, bought the crib in the A,
Yeah.
moved my folks straight to the A. You know what I'm saying? Did what I had to do as a man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But basically, I'm saying this to say, like, everything just came fast. I was still in school. I'm trying to take care of the fam, make sure my book's straight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Really just get into it, though, bro. But it was a journey for sure. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So let's talk about where we at right now. We inside your studio here in Nashville.
We at the headquarters.
50 majority of the records that he has done. They don't like when artists be independent because they be getting to the bag. Exactly. That's one of the main things, right? Strictly independent. So he made a lot of money off of Sicko Mode. Made a lot of money. So look, during its peak in 2018, the song was generating over $183,000 in weekly revenue. $200,000 a week. So even if he getting half of that, $100,000 a week. $100,000 a week. And even if you want to break down the percentages, right? Say he's making $70,000 to $80,000 a week off of the record, right? What would be 80? $960,000 a year off of that one song. Averani, what's going on? He definitely was. He definitely was. Most definitely was. Hold on.
All time. It has roughly 2.5 billion
Wish I could.
streams across all major. Mode is one of the most popular hip-hop songs of all time. It has roughly 2.5 billion streams across all major streaming platforms and about another 1.25 billion views on YouTube. How does that translate into dollars? For every million plays the song gets, streaming services pay out about $3,000 to the master and about $600 in publishing. On the master side, Sicko Mode has generated an estimated $7.5 million from streaming services and $3 million from YouTube views. On the publishing side, it has generated about $1.5 million from streams for a grand total of $12 million in estimated earnings. Now let's use that same math to find out the total earnings. Sicko Mode is one of the most popular hip-hop songs of all time. It has roughly...
Bruh. Do you hear how much money this kid was making? This is why I said rest in peace to the legend Tay Keith. Do you see how much money he was making off just one song? He was making more than a lot of motherfuckers off one song. What number did this come in at? Hold on. Oh. Yeah, it's one of the 10 highest earning hip hop songs, averaging 100,000, 131 in total revenue. So you're talking about the Sycamore, yeah. But Christ. Top 10 paid producers in the industry. He came in at number 9, but and I thought about it. I was like, yo, he's around these guys. Metro and Mike Will made it. Now, of course, these guys have been around for a while. Okay. All these names have been around for a while, but for him to be in that top 10 and only been around for 8 years, well, these guys have been around for about 20. Right? Well, these guys have been around about 20 years. Mike Will, Mike Dean, Metros, they got Alchemist been around about 30. Now, of course, I think this is the revenue of just Sicko Mode. That don't count Look Alive and all the other records he got. Because you heard records I was playing in the intro. You heard Sexy Red Pound Town. You heard Moneybag Yo. You heard a Little Baby record or two. You heard about 5 different Drake records. Chum, come down. What's going on? Again, you heard about 5 different Drake records that he was on, not counting Sicko Mode. But you heard Meltdown that was also on Utopia. You saw he had a Utopia hoodie on from working with Travis Scott. So he was also, like I said, heavy on Utopia, not just the album before that. I forgot the damn name of it now. The Fun World album. That one where they had the pandemonium that happened with the energy harvesting at that concert. But yeah. Then that doesn't count Beyonce. That's just the rap side we were talking about just now. I don't count Beyonce. So this little 1 million is miscalculated to me. It's very miscalculated to me. Astro World, yes, Astro World. So heavily worked on Astro World as well as Utopia. I was trying to find out if he signed any deal with anybody. Nope. No record deal. No nothing. But when you put in OVO in that search, of course, this beautiful moment comes up. Imagine receiving your #1 plaque for Sicko Mode at your college graduation.
I'm just say something real quick. Say on behalf of, Warner Chapel, Big John, myself, the entire company, just wanted to come down to.
Imagine that. Now, before we get into the deep dive, this was also Tay Keith's last interview before he passed.
Struggle makes you.
Part of. This is like 5 minutes of his last interview. About just a year ago, before he passed.
It's handed to you. You're not going to appreciate it. You're not going to work hard or strive for it.
How did your parents' professional life inform your career ambitions?
When I was born, my daddy was in and out of prison. And I think by the time I got 7, 8, he just wanted to focus more on being his children's life. So he was a locksmith, changed locks all the time, and people get locked at their cars. It's a hustle. I just remember getting picked up on the weekends, and I'd be out to 9, 10 o'clock with him doing his locksmith calls.
So just watching him work?
Yeah, watching him work, going to sleep in the car, waking up, we still there. And my mama did her. She was a secretary too at the school for a couple of years, but she did that on the side, but her main hustle was doing her. So I always seen my parents make their own money. They always their own boss.
So they were kind of entrepreneurs in their own.
And they both had trades. They didn't go to college, but they had trades. The most important ideal I ever had was being my own person, being a leader, not a follower. I think the whole concept of that is generic but so powerful.
Was there anyone around you that was in sort of more creative fields?
My stepfather, his brother was a DJ. So that was for sure an influence on me also. He was DJing all the time. I got to start watching him, going home, downloading DJ software on the computers, playing with that.
So your mother got you a keyboard right around the same time?
Yeah. By this time I had moved with my daddy, and my mama had gave me a keyboard for Christmas. And long story short, something happened. It was a shootout at the house, and my keyboard got hit.
Was everybody in the house, aside from the keyboard, okay?
Yeah, nobody got hit.
Okay.
That was the only thing in the house that, from what I remember, that was actually hit in the house, which was crazy. But at the time, I was my daddy was paying for piano classes. I know he was spending money that he didn't have, really. And I was like, I wasn't really understanding my teacher at the time in the keyboard class. I didn't really want to be there. I guess I wasn't mentally there to learn how to play the piano, so I looked at it like, man, I'm gonna still find a way to make hits, even without it.
He figured a way. Figured out a way.
What was the first time one of your beats got to an artist and they made a song to it?
It probably was my homeboy, Baby OG, in high school. At the time, I was making beats, trying to figure out what's the best way to, get them out there besides putting them on YouTube. He rapped on some of my beats and it just went from there. He was the first artist who got my beat on the radio. It was a competition that was doing on K97 or Hot 107.1 in Memphis. And at the time, I was just going through a lot with my mom and the family. It was just a hard time for us, struggling. And I was sleeping on the floor at the time. I didn't have no TV, but I had a radio. It was just a crazy moment for me. Like, I couldn't believe the shit that I'm going through in life. I was able to hear my beat on the radio. It was a precious moment for me.
What are the qualities about yourself that you hold on to the most tightly?
Being genuine and being kind.
You don't hear about that often. He was still sleeping on the floor at his mom's house when Look Alive was on the radio. That's crazy.
Another one is being humble.
Grammy-nominated producer Tay Keith, born Britavius Lath Chambers, has reportedly died at the age of 29. According to reports, he was found dead in his Nashville apartment on June 18, 2026, after police conducted a welfare check. Authorities say the cause of death remains unclear, though foul play is not suspected. Born and raised in South Memphis.
Now, is this the it's the interview. I do want to play this also before we get into the deep dive. This kind of fucked me up though. I'm not gonna lie. Block Boy JB and a few other celebrities, but Block Boy JB's kind of fucked me up.
Block Boy JB reacts to the untimely passing of producer Tay Keith. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Corday. Okay, I couldn't see the name up there. It's Corday. Fun fact: when I had 3,000 followers, he was already platinum. He did a session with me and told me I'd make it. Hmm. Almighty J was there. God bless the family. Mike Will made it.
Hey, RP Tay Keith, bro, we got a classic. I'll never forget when I got my first Tay Keith beat for Flawless Like Me. I'm like, damn,
This
I
Trippie
made
Redd.
it. This is what it felt like. That was the last song I put on Flawless Like Me. And it was like, I put it all the way at the beginning of the album. Long live Tay Keith, you a legend, Ski.
As I said, this one rocked the industry for real, yo. And if you don't know who Block Boy JB is, 'cause I feel like some of y'all might not know who that is. Like I said, he was he said he was sleeping on the floor when this was on the radio. 29 years old. I guess we can get into it now, but yeah. Let's get into the gematria from Zach Hubbard, Tay Keith. Now, I played y'all before Zach Hubbard videos before. He does gematria, murder by numbers. Yeah, nonstop sick. Oh, my bad. Big Money Seth, what's going on? Yeah, nonstop, sicko mode. Like I said, it was a Money Bag Yo record. I forgot the name of that. Pound Town, the Look Alive record. There was a Little Baby record in there. Polo G. Like I said, I already said. What was the record with Beyonce? What was the Tay Keith record with Beyonce? So what was the Beyonce hit before I let go? What? Wait. Nah, it wasn't that. Wait. I didn't know it was that one. I didn't know it was that one. Bruh. Yeah, right before Juneteenth. Yo, this is that's what I said. This was the heavy one. This was the heavy one. This was the heavy one. All right, we got to get into this now.
Welcome back.
And but like I said before, I introduced y'all before to Zachary Hubbard. So he pretty much does gematria and does the murder by numbers, similar to Kinfolk. But he was the originator that I had found before. I'm not gonna say before Kinfolk was doing it, but I've known about Zach Hubbard for about 20 years now. Like since I was back in New York, still I knew about Zach Hubbard. That's how long I've been even into gematria and doing the murder by numbers with conspiracy. Like I've known about Zach Hubbard for that long. Back when he was predicting, like if you want to predict who's going to win certain events or certain Super Bowls, NBA championships, go to Zach Hubbard. Zach already had the numbers what was going to happen before anybody. I'll just say that too. Zach had the numbers what was going to happen with the Knicks before anybody. We could do another video on that another day. But you go to his channel, you will see Zach predicts literally a lot of different shit that happens in throughout time. Through doing it through the gematria calendar. Yeah, see, you started watching it with Kinfolk. Like I said, Gematria's been around for ages. Gematria's been around for ages. Kinfolk came around doing it. I want to say when the Kinfolk started doing it. When did Comey? I got his page up too. Huh? I got his page up. I know Coleman Kinfolk ain't had the page up for that long, but yeah, 2015. So he started doing it about 10, 11 years ago. Like I said, Gematria's been around for so long though. Shout out to Call Me Kinfolk though, because he's another one. We're gonna look at his Oliver Tree video here in a second. Because I want to look at that other clip also. Yes, he's done Prodigy, Bankroll Fresh. He's done a lot of people. I say he's very similar. Put it like this: Call Me Kinfolk would be the black version of Zachary Hubbard. He's definitely the black version of Zachary Hubbard.
True Seeker. In the live we did earlier today, we talked briefly about the death of Tay Keith at 29 years old, best known for co-producing Travis Scott's big hit, Sicko Mode. And no doubt what I'm about to expose is definitely sicko. And I understand that sicko mode is supposed to be this thing like being high energy, like Travis Scott, but let's really think about what a sicko
He already said one thing that's key significance right now: high energy
is. And no doubt the world of entertainment is full of sickos. And no doubt Travis Scott is a sicko because he didn't stop his concert.
I doubt he would have had a chance to write one, ma. That's the crazy part, my princess. That's a good. You chatting right now? You chatting right now, Mafia Princess? Because I don't think he had a chance to make one yet.
When people are being stampeded to death by the numbers on Remember the 5th of November. And if you missed all my work on that, you should go back and listen. The Astros won the World Series a year to the day of the Astro World tragedy. Astro from UB40 died right after the Astro World tragedy. And I think there's one other piece I'm forgetting right now. But anyway, if you're new here, to see through this ritualism and how this is a murder, not he was just found dead in his Nashville apartment and later they'll probably say he overdosed. To see that this is a ritual murder, which no doubt it is, you must know the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. And there are 4 base ciphers in the English language, and I'm going to add in another cipher that I've talked about many a times in the past. And if you've read my first book, Letters and Numbers, which is over 10 years old now, this cipher is brought up in there and why it's also important. But if you're new here, the 4 base ciphers are very simple. They're the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. You turn words into numbers and you instantly see through the ritualism. Again, Hollywood made a movie about murdering people by this code. The music world has made multiple songs about murdering people by this code. Amazon remade the Agatha Christie novels, the ABC murders, about murdering people by this code. And by this code, I mean the code of ABC 1, 2, 3 and dates. But the most simple cipher is A is 1 up to Z is 26. And you can see sicko mode equals 94 in that cipher. For starters, this man is dead 94 days from his birthday. And keep in mind, XXX Tentacion died on this day not that long ago. Jimmy Wapo died on this day not that long ago. But his birthday is September 20th. He's dead June 18th. He's dead 94 days before his birthday. Sicko mode 94. And if you want to learn more about what these numbers also mean, I'd encourage you to read my books. There's a lot more to 94. It's the number of the people who've given us the calendar and the language. Sicko mode, when you apply numerology to each letter, equates to 40. You know who's about to turn 40 years old? Drake. Drake will be 40 this year on October 24th. And Drake just put out that album, Iceman, synced with George Gervin. We'll see how much longer George Gervin lasts for. I know it's not good for him. Sicko mode, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, equates to 149. This means Z is 1 back to A is 26, 149.
So I have to pause it here. So you heard one death that he said is coming up soon, possibly, which will be George Irvin. Now that was the Iceman. I think he played for the Spurs. I think he played for Irvin played for the Spurs, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I did my own gematria early. I didn't necessarily deep dive as much as he did, but when you put just Tay Keith in, the death date came out 633.
It's the 35th prime number. Travis Scott is 35 years old right now. We just talked about the voice actress who died, who did the voice of Lilo in Lilo and Stitch, who died at 35 weeks after her last movie.
Davy Chase.
And her first movie, it's very Jesuit. She's at the Jesuit school.
Yeah, he was just saying that. Triple X died on the same day, June 18th. Now, again, see how this again keeps. See how the message. This is why I titled this shit the message. You see how he even said Drake's turning 40 this year? And the number 40 came out in the reduction. Triple X Tentacion died on the same day as Tay Keith. And who's linked to Triple X Tentacion's death? This is why I said this shit felt like a message.
She died 149 days from the Superior General's birthday, the 35th prime. Ties in with JFK, the 35th president, being born on the 149th day of the year, dying in Dealey Plaza off I-35, et cetera, et cetera. These same number patterns happen all the time. So, okay, 94 days from his own birthday, in the year that Drake turns 40, while Travis Scott's 35, and then the 50, he's dead on the 50th day of Travis Scott's age. He's dead on the 50th day of Travis Scott being 35 years old. And then the 409, that's the 80th prime number. Trump just turned 80. And remember, when Travis Scott had the legal problems after the Astro World tragedy, he turned to Trump's legal team. Trump's legal team took care of that for him. And don't forget, that was on Remember the 5th of November, which was also the day of the last rigged selection, the latest one where Donald Trump was the beneficiary. So yeah, here we are, 94.
That's another connection right there. Dennis Graham being from Memphis, the same place with Tay Keith is from. You see how the energy keeps pointing back to Drake?
4 days from his birthday. Travis Scott born April 30th, which is the Church of Satan's birthday. But yeah, the 50th day of Travis Scott's age. Notice Sicko Mode. The song is 5 minutes, 12 seconds. That's 312 seconds in satanic gematria. Satanic equals 312. And don't forget, our latest pope, by the way, you guys, Roman Catholic Church is 94. They're the ones who gave us the language and the calendar. They're behind all this crap. They're behind the Church of Satan. They're behind all this crap. Again, people will always blame it on small hats. Small hats are the front men that the people who really run the show hide behind. Trump, when the Pope died on Rome's birthday on the 312th day of Trump's age after Trump got 312 electoral votes in the rigged selection, going with Oprah in the 312, asking him years ago if he'd want to be president someday. And don't forget, Candyman died the same day that the election was called for Trump. Candyman set in Chicago, the 312. But yeah, anyway, it's not an accident this song's 312 seconds. And this is happening at this time, in the time of this Chicago Pope. So, okay. And here's Travis Scott, born April 30th. The Church of Satan, born April 30th, 1966. Travis Scott was born on the 25th birthday of the Church of Satan. Today has 25 date numerology. Trump also equals 25, funny enough. But yeah, Travis Scott's 35 right now. Again, Satan equals 35. Goes with Sicko Mode, 149, the 35th prime. See how it all works? Talking about the same stuff day in and day out. And Drake, born October 24th, 1986. Going to turn 40 here.
Now, here's the other thing, right? You would think. Right? You would think this guy would have posted something by now, right? You would have thought Mr. Champagne Poppy would have posted something by now, right? You know where he decided to post it at? His YouTube Finsta. How I know this is the YouTube Finsta? See all this OVO sound? 100 gigs? The 100 gigs footage that dropped with him in the studio? It's like 17 hours of shit. Look. Go to Iceman stuff. Now, and earlier, right when the news dropped, he put out this. We created so many hits together, forever a legend. This is the only place he put it. This is the only place he put his rest in peace to Tay Keith was on his YouTube Finsta. As if he was hiding the fact that he was saying rest in peace. Something was eerie about this. Because I have two theories about this, right? Did Drake himself have something to do with this? Or was somebody sending a message to Drake by doing this? Docs on the Rocks, what's going on? For Drake to not be the only one it on his YouTube Finsta, he doesn't make a public rest in peace, Tay Keith, when the whole world is saying rest in peace, Tay Keith. That was the next thing I was getting into, Big Money Seth, was the record that dropped on the Finsta. This record called Serious. But that was my first time really analyzing the record. Because I heard it earlier, but I didn't really get to hear it. I didn't get to hear like the lyrics or anything like that. And like I said, for him to drop this record right when Tay Keith passes on OVO Sound, that eerie intro to this record that sounds like someone's transitioning. No, he wasn't trying to sign him, but the other part to that is, and I gotta read that in a second here. The other part to that is Drake was doing that 50% stake with OVO. And Tay Keith was on a lot of those OVO records. He produced a lot of those OVO records. So I started thinking to myself, I was like, did he have to pay Tay Keith if he did that? That was the other thing I was thinking. I was like, did he owe Tay Keith money for like Nonstop and those other records? And then Tay Keith's family is suing Sexy Red. I forgot for what record it was, but she's getting sued over a record too with Tay Keith. Like I said, it's a lot of weird shit around his death, but a lot of it, like I said, again, keeps pointing around Drake. Let's continue with the gematria because, like I said, there's more numbers surrounding the boy. Let me bring this back so we could still follow along here.
Again, Satan equals 35, goes with sicko mode, 149, the 35th prime. See how it all works? Talking about the same stuff day in and day out. And Drake, born October 24th, 1986. Going to turn 40 here in about 4 months. So yeah, this is what sicko mode really is. And for all you young people that listen to this music, I know it's normal to just follow the herd and do what your peers do. But I'm telling you guys, you live in the worst generation of music. The music is nonsensical. Travis Scott doesn't have one memorable lyric worth reciting. These people are not to be followed. These people have sold their souls to be on the world stage, and that's been going on for a long time. Bob Dylan said that's how you make it in show business. You got to sell your soul. He told that to Ed Bradley on 60 Minutes, and Ed Bradley died not long after. But, of course, Bob Dylan, not the greatest vocal talent, but...
I did not know that. We played that clip just not like 2 pods ago where Bob Dylan was talking to him. I didn't know that the interviewer died right after he told him that. That's crazy.
Multi-millionaire from, might even be a damn billionaire from so many records and songs played on the radio. Yeah, it's just, people need to turn all this crap off. It's not good for anybody. It's made society perverse. And again, the reason these people are on the radio and they're famous and you know their names is because this is the kind of stuff that they've been participating in behind the scenes.
Is this just, I'm just as I'm listening to him, I'm thinking about this too. Because I remember before someone was talking about the puppets in or the Pinocchio, the people in the Pinocchio mask were supposed to be like his followers around him, or like people that was attached to him. The people with the Pinocchio masks. And in this video, the people with the Pinocchio mask died. As if it was people that he had around him purposely, or should I say, people that used to be around him that was attached to him, he knew he had to get rid of. Like he had to do some trimming of the tree. Because the scene right before this, as you saw, right before he shows the people dying, is this scene. Whereas everybody that's left, that's his people, all the people in suits, it's everybody that's left that's with him. And you would think this is like a mob ties thing that's happening right here, where he's cutting ties with somebody that was, going against the grain. Then I'm seeing this scene right here, where of course he's showing that he set somebody up. And then I can't forget this part right here where he says this. Because who would a producer be, right? And it's, of course, with the teardrops, with the reefs around. I was trying to see the date on this particular video, but of course, it came out the same day as May 15th. But anyway, this is. Because now it changes my whole theory as far as someone trying to send Drake a message. It's looking like Drake did this, man. This is starting to look like he has something to do with this, man. Now, when I was Googling this, right, I was Googling the OVO equity firm. And of course, it's all over the place now. He's exploring the sale of a 50% OVO stake. And then this came out of nowhere, right? ARI sues Drake, October's very own. And I wanted to see real quick, right? I want to see what happens if I Google that right now. If I put in that, I want to see what happens. If I put that ARI company, Tay Keith. Excuse me. Okay, so nothing comes up in regards to ARI unless let me see. Okay. I wanted to see if something was going to come up with that ARI because when I looked it up, it just mentioned that, that OVO was being sued somewhere. And I was like, that's kind of odd that this came out the same day that Tay Keith died. So OVO previously acknowledged existing and continuing defaults and admitted indebtedness was valid, binding, and unconditionally owing under a formal forbearance agreement. So I was like, what is this contract right here? British Columbia. ARI OVO Growth Capital. What is that? It's an investment vehicle formed by a U.S. based investment firm, Applied Real Intelligence. Now, was he in on any? I'm like I said, we doing a little dive, so I want to see if he has anything to do with that as well. Was he a part of it? Okay. So this lawsuit right here, this looks like an internal lawsuit that's happening here inside the company of OVO. But like I said, it just feels weird that this internal lawsuit is happening the same day that the news comes out about, like I said, his equity firm deal on the same day of Tay Keith's death. Like, so as Drake continues to dominate music charts with the success of the latest album, Iceman, the rapper may also be preparing to make major business. This is what we were talking about before, about a month ago, right? Said dude's a psychopath. Yeah, yeah, he definitely does. He definitely does. They tearing Sexy Red comments the fuck up. Oh, I bet they are. I bet they are. I bet they are. That's another thing I was thinking about too. What happened was, what if this was not only him having to pay Tay Keith some money if he does this equity deal, but on top of what's going on with Sexy Red? Like, did he do a favor for Sexy Red? That's what I'm wondering now. Like I said, for this to happen on the same day as Triple X and him having something to do with Triple X also, like this is so. According to Punk News, Drake and his team are in discussions to sell a 50% stake in October in OVO, the lifestyle and apparel brand he co-founded, to Authentic Brands Group ABG, a global brand development and licensing company known for managing some of the world's most recognizable consumer brands. While financial terms have not been disclosed, the transaction could represent one of the most significant business moves in the history of the Toronto-born brand, founded by Drake in 40. So OVO evolved from a music collector, or we don't need to read that part, but a partnership with ABG could dramatically expand OVO's licensing opportunities. The New York-based company oversees a portfolio of more than 50 brands, generates more than $36 billion annually, annual global retail sales through its extensive network of partners and retail channels. Okay, so is this more the clothing brand? Or is this the whole, or is this the imprint itself? Okay, is this the other article about the label itself? Okay, no, that's the other one. Let me see. Okay, so I was okay. So here's the label. All right. I thought it was just the clothing. Here's the label. All right, here's the label then. It's the licensing of the name. It's the licensing of the name. Gamma label. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. I'm just seeing this stuff on Facebook. I'm trying to see. All right. Let's what it's up my here. Wow, look at this right here. Shitty ass bitch pay creators for their work or call up your Canadian trick and have him pay it to Tay's family. Wow. Wait, does he? Because I remember him having points. Oh wait, that's right. He does have the friendship with Larry Jackson. That's right. Wait. Okay. Wait a second. 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 Wait. 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 There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. The favorite wouldn't even be for Sexy Red as much as it would be for Larry Jackson. Now we getting somewhere. Now we getting somewhere. Rick Ross is also signed to Gamma? Wait, what? Get the fuck out of here. Maybach Music Group is under Gamma? And it's been like that since 2023, right before the beef happened. Yo, wait a minute. The plot thickens. The plot thickens, y'all. Big Money Seth. That's a bomb right there you drop, brother. It's a bomb you drop, brother. That's a bomb right there. Hold on. 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 Because I wonder, what am I gonna get if I put this in? Because I'm about to look for something else. Hold on. Well, no, I know about that. I know about because there's an interview with Larry Jackson talking about his relationship with Drake. I do remember that. I do remember that. That's crazy. When you Google it, it literally says that Tay Keith collaborated with a lot of artists that were managed by Larry Jackson's Multimedia Gamma. Wow. Yeah, this is wow. Wow. I think we figured it out, y'all. I think we figured it out. What kind of man are you? A middle one. Majority of his songs. Oh my god. A lot of his catalog was from Gamma artists. Oh man. Oh, this explains it. A lot of his catalog that he was going to get paid for publishing wise was from Gamma artists. Damn it. God damn it. That's why his net worth was only 2 million, because his net worth was going to go up if he got paid. He was about to be one of the biggest paid. Put it like this, right? If that OVO deal went through, he was about to be one of the biggest paid producers independent. Damn it, man. And of course, Sexy never paid him for the damn man. Man, oh man, oh man. Has she said anything? I'm curious now. Has she said anything? Because I haven't seen her Instagram. Shit, if she's smart, she turned the shit off. Huh. I guess this is her last post. This is her last post? Nothing in the story?
Baby. Oh my gosh, you smell good. Yes, Sexy. I love you so much.
This one on your Make-A-Wish.
No, it was. It was.
I'm glad I could make that come true.
Thank you. I'm sorry. If,
Get well soon.
Thank you. Thank you. You be safe.
Okay.
I'm gonna see you at Streaming University.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. Hold up.
See ya. Wait. Get the.
Wow. Not a story post, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes it so eerie about this. Like, not a single story post from Drake or Sexy Red. Yet the whole industry is saying rest in peace to this man. Drake out here putting out records and making rest in peace posts through his YouTube Finsta. This is some wow. Then I have it backwards. Drake is sending a message. Drake is the one sending the message by cutting loose the Tay Keith. Like I said, my original theory with this was that they were sending a message by getting rid of Tay Keith because of how much money Tay Keith was going to make from Drake selling the 50% stake in the OVO imprint, but also trying to warn Drake as far as, what he's doing. You know what I mean? As far as he's pretty much doing what Michael Jackson and R. Kelly tried to do, as far as almost, pretty much skating off into the sunset with billions of dollars and either being able to retire or still continue to make music on his own free limb. That's what it felt like to me, that the removing of Tay Keith was a warning to Drake, especially when you have him being independent himself now, pretty much. Drake. He's not necessarily signed to UMG, but he's not contractually signed to UMG anymore. Album wise, the name Drake is per se, but the music he's putting out is through OVO Sound. He's not even using anything from UMG. UMG, I don't think it's on the imprint ice, man. It might be, but like I said, it's because it was his last 3 albums for UMG, if anything. But that was my original thought, that this was, because Drake is skating off with all this money, they sent a shot by the Mafia. It's very Mafia-esque how this is going, right? But then if I think about, like I said, how mob style this is going, Mafia-esque, this also, the gematria, the numbers is pointing to Drake having something to do with this and not the other way around. This is pointing to Drake having something to do with trimming the fat. That's what this is starting to sound like. Which is very odd to me. Like I said, that him and Sexy Red have yet to say anything about Tay Keith publicly. That part is very bothering to me. That both of these individuals that have said to be involved in this have not said a peep. That is very strange to me. And then for Larry Jackson to be Drake's friend, yeah, this is the clip right here. This is the clip right here. I found. Would you like any ice with that? It's kind of.
That's what I've had.
Now, if you're paying attention, when he mentions Apple, that's the code for Drake, because Drake had the huge stake at Apple.
Alpha Wave, which is.
So that's why he said he made a long walk around the block with The Answer, because The Answer was that nobody was willing to invest with Gamma until he knocked on Apple's door, which was Drake. And Drake ended up seeing opportunity in investing in Gamma when he started noticing who was going to be on it. Now you're saying look up his lyric on Family Matters, not necessarily Family Feud. There's no Drake Family Feud record. There's a Jay-Z Family Feud record, but not Drake. I don't believe it's a Family Feud record. Yeah, Lil Wayne Family Feud. What? Unless you're talking about this record. Okay, so this is it's on Lil Wayne's record. Okay. Somebody get Larry Jackson on the phone. I need some ownership if we press and go, because business is booming on behalf of me. Bingo. Yeah, this is Drake. That's Drake's lyric right there. I do remember this part. I do remember people looking up this part right here. Because business booming on behalf of me. I need a bite out of apple like Adam and Eve. Yeah, this was when we did the breakdown of why Ross had said what he said about Drake pushing back French Montana's album. We had also looked at this lyric. I do remember. Because he was like, you sent the cease and desist to French Montana. And that's what made us all look at that lyric right there, because we were like, oh, well, how does he have a say in all these different albums? And that was one of the things right there with the Larry Jackson thing. But this pretty much sums up. This unfortunately pretty much sums up what happened with Tay Keith, unfortunately. That's fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. He was pretty much knocked off so that he wouldn't have to pay those Gamma artists. Or should I say those Gamma artists didn't have to pay him. Because that was a lot of money. That was a lot of money. Wait a second. Now, I need to know something. Okay, so he's just a songwriter credit on there. And it was through Warner Chappelle. It's probably one of the only names I know here in Lakey besides Tay Keith. FBO? Yeah, SB on the Apple. Okay. David Bowie. And you might as well add Tay Keith to this now. Man. That's fucked up, man. This is fucked up.
His senior year, when
This is MTSU where Tay Keith was going. They the Tennessee University where Tay Keith was going to school. They spoke on the news about him.
I got to know Tay during his senior year, when he had already created a name for himself. Lots of people were telling him, hey, you're already working with Drake and Travis Scott. Why are you finishing a degree? But it was so important to him. He had promised his mother that he would earn a college degree. He was
college, not graduating high school, graduating college, excuse me.
The first to graduate from college in his family. In December 2018, the month he graduated, he also had a #1 record with Travis Scott and a Grammy nomination. So, he already had a career that people were envious of before he graduated. And after he graduated, he just soared to become Billboard's Rap Producer of the Year. I was proud to name Tay Keith an honorary professor. And I think it's only fitting because, he embodied the characteristics that we want our students to have. He, first and foremost, he was a really good man. Even if he hadn't had all this international success, he was a good person. And he was so dedicated to MTSU and our students. And MTSU always has a presence during Grammy Week in LA, and he would always come by our party and give advice to our students. So it was only fitting that he was an honorary professor. So, we're all just shattered and devastated, and we all loved him so much here. And, Students came to MTSU because this is where Tay Keith studied. Now what we have to focus on is preserving his legacy and providing the same foundation to the next generation of students so that they can have a life and career like Tay Keith.
People saw themselves a lot like in Tay and like that their success, particularly I think a lot of like black students at MTSU and like from Memphis saw that like success was possible. They saw that like people could do it. And it didn't, if you know knew Tay, he wasn't like a very extravagant person. Like yes, he had like a shiny chain and stuff like that, but like he was not like a super duper talkative person, a super duper flexer or anything like that. Like you can be good and be successful like off just like your talent. You don't have to do like all the tricks and things of that nature. But I think like representation was what I was looking for. Representation. I think people saw a lot of themselves in Tay and saw that like if Tay Keith can make it, I can make it. He had these like attachment to not just like hits, but like superstars like Beyonce and Drake, like people that are like household international names that it go beyond just like he has a hit single. Like you worked with Beyonce, you worked with Drake. I spoke to Tay not long ago. I'm from originally from DC, and Lizzo has a new song on her album. It's called Pretty Girls, and it samples a go-go band that I grew up listening to. So to hear someone I went to college with take the sample that I grew up with in DC and have it with the hit artist, it just really like just reminds you that like the dream is like so real and to keep pushing. I think that's the thing that people will miss the most is that like when they saw Take Keith, they saw that they could be successful. They saw that it's possible.
So sad, man. So sad to die so young at 29 years old, man. Grammy nominated, 29 years old, man. And was supposed to receive so much money, man. Owned his own label, Dramatized Music Group. Owned his own, all his own shit, man. And because he was about to receive so much money from Gamma, like I said, the biggest thing is that Drake was about to do that steak deal, man. Drake is about to make that huge $2.1 billion deal, man. Drake's about to get $2 billion, man, and because he had to cut a piece of the pie out and remove Tay Keith. Damn it, man. Damn it, man. Might as well okay, he didn't do anything about it. But rest in peace, Tay Keith, y'all. It's fucked up if you had something to do with this, man. Like I said, it's too eerie that this happened not only on the death date of Triple X Tentacion, the same exact death date, but this happens the same exact week that the news comes out about you selling OVO. Or selling 50% of OVO. On top of you doing that $2.1 billion deal. This is kind of fucked up. This happens the same week, Drake. And then this is the song that you put out on the day of this man's death. You titled the song called Serious. Look at the comments. Rest in peace, Take. A lot of rest in peace, Take Keiths in here. Rest in peace to Tay Keith, man. But I do want to go through the gematria real quick of Tay Keith. So I didn't realize that this was at the bottom of it. So, like I said, the date came out, right? The 618 came out in his name. But look what also was here, right? Cisco, you could easily say would be sicko, but look, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit up. Sunglasses, of course. But look, Masonic Ritual was also 633. Lionsgate Portal, Equinox, pretty much. But the other one that stuck out to me was Consequential. So, different things that came out, right? This one stuck out to me too. Because there's another name that came with this. And I was like, okay, now I got to keep my eyes out for it. Look whose name came up with Sacrifice. Billie Eilish. Don't know when. Don't know how. But keep your eyes and ears open. Because this name came up with this word. And I'm talking about twice. Twice. Look at this. 206. So possibly February. But also 206. Like I said, this is in her name. Okay. So I put in Sacrifice. I'm trying to see. Okay. How many different things was going to, coincide with the other, pretty much, right? What was the other thing? Of course, Killing, right? This stuck out to me with Killing because it was 115 Finding. They found him, right? He was a child. He was 29 years old, pretty much. He was a young one still. Then this. Memphis. Satan. Election. See, again, points back to Trump, as we already knew from Sicko Mode, that it points back to Trump. But look, Boss. This is the biggest one that stuck out to me. Because remember this? And then this is happening to these guys. Pinocchio. Right? This scene before this scene to the Pinocchios. And then, what kind of man are you? A middle one? Memphis? Pinocchio? Coming Home? Memphis? The Donald? Afterlife? Why is that in there? Melania has he being a snake. Selected. I mean, we already looked at Sicko Mode, right? What else was with Sicko Mode? Basketball, of course, the week that the Knicks won the championship. Financial Gift. Larry Jackson. Remember I said before, I feels like this was a favor for Larry Jackson. This looks like a favor for Larry Jackson. Goonies, like the Pinocchio people we saw. Repeat. Indecipherable. All of them looked alike. But they all had the same attachment and meaning. Stabbing. I guess you might as well put that, right? So no, it would be sicko mode. This would be over sicko mode then, because that was the biggest selling record. Would be sicko mode. This would be over sicko mode then. That's why Zach used sicko mode, because it was the biggest selling record. That's why he used it. It was the biggest. It was the biggest seller. It makes more sense. It's the biggest seller. That's what he was making. That's the one they counted pretty much. The $1,000,000 they counted was the million he was making off of sicko mode. They didn't even count the other records. He comes out too. Wow. Look what came out with Larry Jackson. Look what came out with Larry Jackson, y'all. Look what came out with Larry Jackson. Astro World. As in sicko mode. Astro World, yo. White House. Operation Overload Q. Crazy. I wonder now. Hmm. What comes out with Gamma? I would have to look for the name, right? The name would be coming out in this one, right? What else was 35? What's this? 6'9", 210, 6'9", 210. I remember those numbers. 6'9", 210. I'm gonna try both ways over. Let's see how an actual name is spelled. Intergalactic, interesting. Winnie the Pooh. Twister. Something new. Remember. And see, I'm thinking it would be the regular way. It would not be with the extra Y. It would be with the regular way that you would find it. Yeah, Leviathan. Sound, but with a V, like OVO sound. Wow, like OVO sound. That's crazy. September 6th. October 14th. 15 before Drake's birthday. Prostitutes. Served. Orion King Donald Trump in her name. Lawsuit. Oh no, wait. No, wouldn't be lawsuit. Publishing. Confusing. Spell casting. No, the World Cup is this week. Sex magic. And harassment. There's a few different things here, of course, but I always look at the main things that come out. Unfortunately, came out again. Same thing with publishing. Unfortunately, came out. Okay, who did this? Yeah. Now, when I put his name, a lot didn't really come. When I put his whole name, a lot didn't really come out. So he comes out in favor. Let me go through the numbers real quick again. $62 and $27. $35, $147, $83, $232. Oh shit, $232 right there. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait. Let me show something real quick. Okay, yeah, 147. All right. Just want to make sure I got the right numbers here. So Larry Jackson. These are the main ones, right? Yeah, because with Memphis, you had Pinocchio, and then what we say? Well, Larry Jackson, Astro World. There's another one that stuck out in here. Yeah, there was another one that stuck out in here in regards to a deal. Can't remember what it was though, but no, it was Sacrifice. That's what it was. Sandman. Okay, no, it was Sicko Mode. That was the one looking for. Financial Gift. It's from Sicko Mode. But that is my synopsis right there. When you put in, that's the big one right there. Sicko Mode being the same thing as Financial Gift. And then Memphis with Pinocchio. That's where the numbers line up at. Larry Jackson, Astro World. That's where the numbers line up at. Larry Jackson lining up with Astro World. And then Sicko Mode lining up with Financial Gift. And Memphis had the biggest clue of them all, of course. Satan, election, but Pinocchio. He goes at 232 again. Murder by the Numbers is very real, y'all. Selected, teach killing at the being at the university, like Masonic ritual. Right there in Tay Keith's name, and fuck this shit like fuck this shit up. But these two right here would Tay Keith's name. That's the main things right there. Memphis. Excuse me, Tay Keith's name, Masonic ritual. Fuck this shit for fuck this shit up. And you put in Memphis where he died at. You get Pinocchio. Again, Pinocchio. Correlation to Drake's video, Whisper My Name. And the killing of the Pinocchios. Where he set them up and they were found dead. And he's seen driving off with the bag that he set them up with. That's the other part, right? That's the other key part to that video. In the video, the Pinocchios are riding for Drake, right? They're riding for Drake, the Pinocchios, right? Because remember at the end of Iceman, they came to Drake like, yo, man, sorry about all this, that, the third, blah, blah, blah. This same bag that he had them riding with, Drake is seen putting that same bag in the thing here. So the correlation of him setting them up with a bag. He set Tay Keith up with a few bags, did he not? And then him coming to get the same bag that he set them up with. As if he's coming to get the bag. You know what I mean? Memphis equaling Pinocchio. Memphis where he died. And like I said, the other thing, the two biggest ones is sicko mode. Financial gift. To Larry Jackson. Astro World. In which, as you just saw, sicko mode is on Astro World. It's pretty much so Larry Jackson didn't have to pay up. Malcolm Bear, what's going on? He does. He definitely does. He definitely does. But this is that kind of fucks me up now. That fucks me up. Thinking about it from that perspective, y'all. That he possibly has something to do with this. And like I said, the icing on the cake is him dropping this record. Long live Tay Keith. And then supposedly he's supposed to drop, as you can see in the comments, Scary Hours 4. Scary Hours. Every time he drops a Scary Hours, he's talking about some sinister shit. But he drops a record called Serious the same day of Tay Keith's death. In which he's talking about, you got to take me serious. He's singing about taking me serious. Bring it again full circle. This is on the plot twist Finsta of Drake's. In which his only post to Tay Keith was this. We created so many hits together, forever a legend. So fucked up, yo. Crazy, man. Look. 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 Look at the bullseye on the Pinocchio. Was Tay Keith one of the Pinocchios? Was Tay Keith one of the Pinocchios, y'all? That's the crazier part. Watch this. These niggas like Pinocchio. He lied in every song he done. It's a song with Moneybagg Yo that was produced by Tay Keith. One of the songs that I played in the beginning. Was Tay Keith one of the Pinocchios? Oh my God. Was Tay Keith one of the Pinocchios? Here's the lyric. And a song produced by Tay Keith. Tay Keith, one of the Pinocchios. Tay Keith is one of the Pinocchios. Wait, one's at a recorder. One of the Pinocchios is at a recorder. Wow. Yo, this song gets more and more. This album in itself is getting more and more darker the more you think about it, yo.
Name music video. Make sure you
All right, now we did watch this before, but I just want to remind myself of some things real quick.
around to the end of this to see how it all ties together. And trust me, you're gonna want to watch this whole thing. Drake, Aubrey Graham, The Boy, or whatever you want to call him, has officially dropped his highly anticipated album, Iceman, along with 2 additional albums, Maid of Honor and Habibti, which we will talk about in another video for other reasons. The Toronto rapper has been teasing this album since August of 2024 when he suddenly dropped hints following his 100 Gigs EP. You know, the massive data dump of behind the scenes videos and photos of his rise through hip hop. Me personally post Formula 1 driver Kimi Raikkonen and actor Val Kilmer, in which they are both known for their Iceman nicknames.
You want to know who the best is? That's him, Iceman.
and a screenshot of a music folder labeled 2.0 Iceman. Most importantly, people are interested in what Drake has to say following the insane back and forth battle with the Compton rapper Kendrick Lamar that took the whole industry by storm in 2024. This album has a total of 18 tracks, and at the time of this recording, Drake has dropped a total of 15 visuals within 24 hours, 13 of which is on the Iceman album. Listen, you may have some harsh critiques about his music declining in the past few years, but you can't deny that he's still one of the hardest working artists in the music industry today. So throughout this whole video of me explaining Whisper My Name, I will be referencing the other visuals as well, because there are subtle hints and Easter eggs in those visuals that support the bigger picture that I will reveal at the end of this video. So with that being said, let's get started. At the beginning of the music video, we have a cartoon being played which displays a dancing pumpkin and a small grizzly bear. This cartoon is an 8-minute and 31-second short film from 1934 called Jack Frost that was directed and produced by Oob Iwerks, who also co-created one of the most well-known characters known to man. You want to take a guess what character that is? If you guessed Mickey Mouse, you're correct. What I find very interesting is that not only did this music video drop in May of 2026, this is the same month that Walt Disney hired Oob Iwerks as an animator for his company over a century ago. Now the plot of this cartoon is very important to understand, and I'm gonna need you to listen up. The premise of the animated short is that animals are enjoying the warm summer and playing together, in reference to us approaching the summertime. Suddenly, Jack Frost arrives to the forest and paints the world in autumn colors. These colors represent the season of fall, which is the season that Drake was born in October. You can see he announces the coming winter to the animals of the forest and urges them to prepare for it.
Billy Bear, have a care. Old Man Winter's in the air. You'll be sorry if he catches you.
Winter is coming, Iceman. You see where I'm getting at? Most of the animals, fearing Old Man Winter, begin their hibernation preparation. A grizzly bear cub named Billy musically retorts,
I don't have to worry. I don't have to care. My coat is very furry. I'm a grizzly bear.
displaying that he's not afraid. That is, until this happens. At the 20-second mark, the camera will pan backwards, showing the cartoon being played on the television. And at the 34-second mark, Old Man Winter, Drake, Iceman, shows up and instantly changes the climate from fall to winter. If we pan even further, you will see 3 individuals sitting watching the cartoon. Now, what do you notice about these 3 individuals? They are all wearing a mask. Specifically mask that is supposed to depict Pinocchio. Pinocchio is a fictional character created as a wooden puppet. He is widely known for his long nose, which grows when he lies. And in 1940, Walt Disney would produce the animated movie adaptation. This isn't the first time Drake referenced Pinocchio. During the rollout for this project, on the Iceman livestream episode 2 and 3, he would show these characters doing various acts like stalking and even having them sitting at a round table at what seems to be a restaurant. Okay, so look at this shot. Does anything here catch your attention? Well, how many Pinocchios are there at this table? That's right, 4. There have been speculation that Drake is subliminally throwing shots at Kendrick, Lucian Grange, Jay-Z, and Pharrell. Keep that in mind as we proceed through this video. Now, what is the reason behind them watching this cartoon? To me, in a sense, they are watching their demise. We'll get into that in just a bit. Just bear with me, alright? Just let me cook. At the 1 minute and 3 second mark, you can see 3 security screens, one displaying a warehouse where bot farming is taking place. We know this because in the Make Them Know.
Now, what if the Pinocchios are multiple people? Yeah, because he throws up 666, which ironically today Tay Keith died 666. But again, another reference to Drake. So I'm wondering now, like I said, the Pinocchio thing, like he's saying that it represents, certain people, but I'm wondering if it represents more than one person.
No video, Drake will be seen walking into the same warehouse shown in the security footage, dousing the bot farm in gasoline and lighting the whole thing on fire. Back in January of 2025, Drizzy filed a federal defamation lawsuit against his parent label, UMG, over the release and promotion of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, alleging that UMG intentionally boosted the track with fake streams, which accused him of sexual relations with minors. Which is ironic because in late 2025, Spotify Spotify will be accused of botting Drake's streams. In the song Bees on the Table featuring 21 Savage, he would rap,
I'm fighting a man, I suing a rapper, you was not listening.
and in the song Make Them Remember, he name drops Lucien Grange, the president of UMG, as the man he's fighting.
What is a loss? I'll be damned if I'm losing it now. I'm the golden goose shaking things up at Lucian's house.
As the camera pans outward, you can see an operation taking place, and the Pinocchio mask wearing individuals are preparing for something. Also notice when Drake raps,
What's my name and don't say it too loud, cause you gotta come here and you know I pop out.
It goes back to the Jack Frost cartoon playing Old Man Winter, who's supposed to represent Drake. Also another diss to Kendrick when he did the pop-out concert in LA on June of 2024. In this next shot, we have one of the masked men loading what seems to be a black Mossberg 590 shotgun. And as it pans upward, the man could be seen wearing a trucker hat saying, Virginia is for lovers. Remember earlier that I stated that these Pinocchio mask wearing individuals represented people that Drake dislikes? Well, this is an evidence shot to Pharrell Williams, and you could say Pusha T, considering the fact that they are both from Virginia and that Pusha T's wife's name is Virginia Williams.
You keep playing with my name and I'ma let it ring on you like Virginia Williams.
Clearly, Drake still hasn't learned his lesson from mentioning people's loved ones.
Since you name drop my fiance, let them know who you chose as your Beyonce.
In this next shot, we see all four of the masked men in the vehicle headed to a destination. Then we cut to the back seat, and in between two of the masked men is a camo bag. Evidently, this bag is very important. Now, there's a deeper meaning behind this bag. Specifically, the camouflage that contributes to the connection between all of the music videos he put out in the past 24 hours. And I realized that nobody's really talking about this. So let's get this video to 5,000 likes, and I'll make a deep dive into the connection between all the visuals that were dropped for the Iceman project. It's very interesting to say the least. At the 2-minute and 13-second mark, we get a fade-in shot of birds flying in a circle that we see Drake appear for the first time in the video. Now, the imagery of the shot is interesting because you have Drake standing with a white trench coat and the visual of the birds flying around him. We continue to pan backward and we see Drake at a cemetery. In the foreground, we have funeral wreaths. Now, I want you to take notice of Drake's face in this shot. He has two white tears placed under his right eye. You need to understand that getting tears tatted on your face often signifies that the wearer has committed a murder or taken a life. And in prison cultures, the number of filled tears corresponds to the number of people that have been killed. Keep that in mind as we proceed through this video. At the 2-minute and 37-second mark, we have 8 black Cadillac Escalades driving through the cemetery. Then we see Drake walking alongside a woman towards the Escalade. We then cut to
What number came out? I gotta remember something. What? Let me go to the match real quick. I want to see if that number came out. I don't think I know 232 came out, but I don't think 237 came out in his name. Did 237 come out in any of these? Just 232. Okay. Just 232. Okay. Okay.
a scene with the window open and a bland but eerie stare in Drake's eyes. He looks to his left, and in the other seat is the woman he was walking with. This would be the same woman that is in the Janice STFU video. At the 2-minute and 51-second mark, we have possibly the highlight of this whole music video in a full circle moment. Drake is seen rapping at the same location, the Gills Park Greek Theater, where he shot the Headlines video back in 2011. In this shot, Drake is seen rapping mark, we have possibly the highlight walking with. This would be the same woman that is in the Janice STFU video. At the 2-minute and 51-second mark, we have possibly the highlight of the
I knew I heard that number before. 251. I knew I heard that fucking number before.
this whole music video in a full circle moment. Drake is seen rapping at the same location, the Gills Park Greek Theater, where he shot the headline.
Didn't I fucking tell y'all that that was something about that part? I said something is about this part right here.
Video back in 2011. In this shot, he is showing the same day ones in the headlines video are the same day ones that he still has till this day. As the camera pans backwards, we can see that there is a total of 8 pillars, the same number of escalades that were driving through the cemetery. I thought that was very interesting. Now make sure you stay to the end of this video because there is a correlation between those 8 escalades and also those 8 pillars that has a deeper meaning. Just stick around to the end, alright? It's all gonna come full circle, okay? Now at the 3-minute and 30-second mark, we probably have the most striking and one of the most darkest aspects of this music video. We see a vehicle flipped over from an accident, which had the 4 masked men inside. We get an overhead drone shot of Drake going inside the flipped car to retrieve the camo bag. He then proceeds to walk back to his vehicle and we see the Pinocchio masked men all killed. Now the imagery is very violent. Not only is he sending shots to the people that I've mentioned earlier, but seemingly he wants all of them dead. In this ending shot, we have Drake enter his truck and the camera pans upward to show all the snow in the trees and the birds flying, the same birds we've seen flying around Drake at the cemetery. Now you're probably thinking, what does this all mean? Whisper My Name is one of the more aggressive tracks of the album, making subtle jabs at Kendrick, Pusha T, Pharrell.
It sounds like nah, don't say that too, man. Man, don't come in here with adding something else to it, man. You just added something else that was a coincidence to it. Tay Keith dies the day before Kendrick's birthday. But Jesus Christ. Ugh. The day before Pac and Kendrick's birthday. The thing is, Triple X 333. Infinity. The 8s. Then I'm thinking about the 2 teardrops, right? So his first one would have been Triple X. So that means his second one he was about to commit, which would be Tay Keith. Yeah, you might have missed him at midnight. Yeah, it's the same day that Triple X died, June 18th. It's the same day Keith died. And like I said, the symbology, that's what I said, yeah, part of me, a tear came to my eye when I realized I looked at 633 again and to take Keith's name. I was like, wait, at the 333 mark in the video, the Pinocchios die? And then, like I said, we looked at the gematria. The gematria for Memphis, right, had Pinocchio in it. God damn it. I got some. Get this out of here. The thing for Memphis had Pinocchio in it. Okay, you scared me for a second. I was like, don't tell me they damn birthdays is tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, Pinocchio It's in Memphis where Tay Keith died. And then like I said, Tay Keith named 60. Oh my God. And then Larry Jackson is at Astro World. Sicko Mode had financial gift. Wow, man. 251. What did we say 251 was? Was 251 Memphis? What was 251? 251 was that, right? Larry Jackson? No, it was Larry Jackson, right? 251 was Sicko Mode. No, excuse me, Sicko Mode. 251 was Sicko Mode. 251 Sicko Mode. 251 in the video Whisper My Name. Like I said, I kept thinking about it. I was like, yo, this Whisper My Name video just speaks so eerily around him saying he's about to kill somebody. Yeah, this fucked me up tonight, y'all. This fucked me up. This just added another fuck Drake particle. Pretty much, man. I can't even figure out a funny way to bring this one around. This has been one of those ones. Of course, we'll have an edited version for YouTube. And then we'll put the exclusive version, the unedited version of this will be on Patreon. Because you know they're gonna slam the fuck out of me with copyrights for all the songs we done played. But yeah. Fuck. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Madman 90, Malcolm Bear, straight from DC. This fucked me up, y'all. Cherie Pennell, Big Money Seth. Look, oh, I don't know who this is. Somebody from Twitch. David Tarantino. What happened? What had happened was, who else is up in here? New Eyes. Oh damn, I know it's more. Ivorani was up in here. It's not letting me go all the way up. Let me see if YouTube. Yeah, there we go. Let me go to the YouTube. Mafia Princess, Jay Porter, Jermaine Tucker, Docs on the Rocks. I make sure I don't forget nobody. Making sure I don't forget nobody. Oh no, it's all good, brother. Trust me, you got a lot to look at. You got a lot to replay, man 90. You got a lot to replay. But happy birthday to you, brother. Happy birthday to you, man 90. Oh, this one was crazy. This one was crazy. This man done added another body to his list. Rest in peace again to Tay Keith. Pour some look out for the homie. This one fucked us up.